Greetings, friends, and welcome back to Starladder EU coverage for the Season 10. I'm Zyori, this guy's Cattle Guy, and we've got 2 games coming up today.
Yep, and we're excited about it. It's Fnatic going against Cleave.
Ooh.
So, that means, might be clown shoes. I mean, Cleave is currently number 16,
Yeah,
sporting a admirable 2-9, you know,
Yep.
so, but hey, I don't know how many games they have left, but maybe they're going to try to climb their way out of that bottom pit area.
You got to get out there and give 110%.
I mean, you might have some Cleave fans out there.
Definitely.
Maybe some girlfriends to impress.
Hey, I recognize
you know
these guys. That they're OGs in the Starladder verse, man. They've been around for a while.
So you might be looking to press. Maybe they just don't like Fnatic. Maybe they want to bring Fnatic down a notch. So they could be bringing their A game, but like I said, we also could be seeing them starting to experiment with some 6.82 action.
It's all experimenting here in 6.82, and all right, we're going to get to see another Legion Commander.
I don't know.
The only Legion Commander I've seen is Korok, and it was an abysmal failure.
I've seen 2 since then, and they were both failures.
Both
so in my
stuff,
eyes,
huh?
it's a 0% win rate hero.
All right.
Maybe I missed some games, but have yet to see Legion Commander really reach its true potential. A lot of teams, they've been picking it up earlier in the draft, but other teams, they just counter back with their own way of dealing with it. I've seen a team pick up an Omni Knight, so he just simply pops out Guardian Angel, and, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Other teams, they like to pick up Vengeful Spirit, which, hey, is still available in the pool, and Fnatic like to get a hold of that, you know, fantastic support. They can grab one up, and the second she goes in for a duel, swap, see you later, and, well, she's not going to have anything to do about it.
Yeah, I like the idea of Rubik, though, against Legion Commander. Stealing duel is a fun little mechanic, and Rubik gets a little
But can
extra
Rubik actually
PQ.
win a duel? This guy doesn't really lift that much.
It's rough. It's rough. He needs the support of his teammates, but he can set up the duel, disable you, and then Brewmaster come in, give you the crit, hit you with the flail, and set it up. Now, important to note, stand-ins here, Cleave, they've been running their consistent stand-in for Saniko. Voxa will be back again. I love Voxa, one of my favorite handles in the Dotaverse. It's just such a strong, bold name.
Voxa.
Voxa.
This is my firstborn. His name is Voxa.
It's like a young Viking, like the great-great-grandson of Leif Erikson, you know?
I am Voxa, and we will be Cloud9 this game, as we have picked up Visage and Drow Ranger as our optimal combo for heavy push artillery.
Yeah, the artillery indeed. We've seen this duo quite a bit, and they weren't nerfed in this patch, so it's still just as strong as ever. You get your aura on those flying birds, and they do some extra damage. Still have all that stun, all that crowd control. Pretty good stuff, although Drow Ranger still has a layer of issues that, well, for better or for worse, are still attached to her. Viper and Enigma here picked up for Fnatic, so they will go for a slightly greedier laning stage here and get that dedicated jungler.
Yeah, so, you know, this leaves Cleave an option to go a little more aggressive early in the game. They already have Skywrath Mage, who's pretty good at that. Visage, though, I would imagine more so might be planting himself in the lane, maybe moving here and there, trying to build up that early bit of farm for himself. Might need to be a little bit selfish. He needs to get a hold of those familiars relatively early, maybe looking towards the Agnum Scepter and, you know, really taking use of that. That way, when it is time to push, we can get those objectives done.
10 seconds.
So final ban's coming out. It'll be the Faceless Void, banned out by Cleave. He's still decently strong in this patch. I got to see him in the America Grand Finals yesterday, and I was casting with Gods, and he was pretty confident that Void will still be a fairly prominent pick.
It's funny that he says that, because just earlier this morning when we were doing the C games, in the final match of the day, which could have determined whether or not Execration were going to be going to Kiev, they played a Void. Both teams played a very 6.81 kind of a draft, and it was very apparent that Void is still a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you can't deny that he still has those tools to work with. The Chronosphere, though, it was nerfed a touch with its vision, with its size, and, you know, its overall just ability to lock down heroes, and now they can actually still have their passives while in it. It's still a great tool to have, and he was locking down the whole enemy team. Now, unfortunately, they did end up falling, you know, spoiler alert, but you know, it was Winter and his team of JR that pulled out a very nice with Tony combo.
All right, so here's Fnatic, and this is classic Hani. Final ban on the Magnus. Hani is loving the Magnus this patch. He's all about it, and
I think we're going to keep giving him crap about it as long as he picks or bans it.
Yeah, so far he's got, like, the games I've covered in Starladder, it's been 100% pick or ban rate when Hani's in charge of the helm of drafting on the Magnus. So I mean, I think he's a perfectly strong hero. I think he's relevant in this meta. I just think it's funny that the changes to him this patch were.
I mean, I guess I could see it.
minuscule.
They need a mid laner. You can give him power to Legion Commander, and that makes his, the duel that much better. And definitely on Drow as well, it would be very effective. You put that together with the the impressive damage of the Precision Aura. It could get a bit rambunctious, but Well, let's get rid of the hero, I guess.
Nobody likes playing against the Magnus. So Cleave, what do they need here? Depending on how they want to lane this LC, she'll probably be in the position 1, and they'll need a mid laner, it looks like. Maybe some 2-1-2s coming out. They don't have an obvious off lane, so I think 2-1-2 kind of making some sense here, unless they wanted to put LC mid, do a tri-lane around the Dro, and then grab more of a dedicated offlaner here, and it looks like that's what they'll do. They'll grab the Nature's Prophet here.
You never know, though. I've seen a lot of teams do Nature's Prophet in the mid lane as of recent. I love the little quirky, like, TP to one rune, grab the other kind of a thing. That seems to be fun. And overall, as we saw in the one of the secret games, it was Fly who had a fantastic, Furion being able to, do his old trick of the trade, classic rat Dota. So it's very much still viable, folks, and we're going to be seeing this guy quite a few times more.
10 seconds remaining.
Yes, absolutely. What will Fnatic do with their final pick? They need another core, it seems. I think they'll probably put Enigma in the jungle as their position 4, Rubik on the 5.
They need an offlaner, I think.
They'll need it, an offlaner as well, unless they want to get crafty and try and throw Brew in the offlane.
No Centaur, no Tide. Bristleback, I guess?
Yeah, Clockwork is available.
Clockwork is available. Nyx Assassin, no one plays that hero anymore, but...
Poor Nyx Assassin. There's one person that still does run Nyx, and I forget who he's like. Go Black's team, the Virtus Pro.
Go Black will run anything.
Yeah, they may not be the best. That's true. But yeah, Nyx Assassin not getting much love. I see him basically only picked up against Bat Rider. That's like the one hero that he really is still great against, because you get the free stuns with the Spike Carapace. Just walk into the fire, and Bat Rider gets a taste of his own medicine, and lava does not taste good.
No, it does not. How about Ogre Magi off lane?
Oh, I want to see it so bad.
It's not. I mean, late game, it's not that great, but hey, the boost in the in the HP regen.
If he can get up an Aghanim Scepter, he scales a little bit better. That's a lot of wombo to his combo, and
the classic late pickup of a Storm Spirit. We've seen this a couple of times, but overall, fantastic ability to quickly isolate, catch up with heroes, and just catch them out. I mean, that's someone you want to do. Drow doesn't really like to be confronted too much. She does have the benefit of that gust, but if he gets to jump in with a proper Orchid, Nature's Prophet's really not going to have anywhere to hide. Skywrath Mage is going to have nothing to deal with that, but they have a fair amount of silence to bounce back against the Storm Spirit, so Matumba Man, the pressure's going to be on him. I would imagine he's going to go for an early Orchid to be able to still snowball in this game.
Yeah, I think he'll try for an early Orchid at the very least. This doesn't strike me as a game where he'll need to rush BKB. We saw Korok the other day try to go straight into the Bloodstone, and it didn't work out so well. I think Orchid first is still kind of the ideal way to do it if farm allows and you get a little bit of momentum. Especially if you can grab it before in that like 15 to 20 minute mark window. That's really that's good stuff on the Storm Spirit. Also just a great hero against the Dro. You mentioned the gap closers being powerful against her, and Storm Spirit is basically just a gap closer. If you had to sum them up in a word or a phrase, I think that just about does it.
Gap closer works. So, we'll see how it goes. For Fnatic, though, I would imagine that's what they want to do. They want to add a lot of pressure early to mid-game and try to seal this game out before the, 30. They'll go much past the 40-minute mark because Cleave, frankly, has a fair amount of late game to work with. If this LC does manage to get a few amount of duels under her belt, she's going to be having a serious punch to be dealing with, and of course Drow Visage is just nothing to scoff at. They'll be able to rip apart your towers left, right, and center.
Absolutely. So Radiant side, we've got Team Fnatic, the heavy favorites coming into this best of one for the Day 24 of Starladder Season 10 European Group Stage. We've got Boogie on the Grand Magus Rubik in the bottom lane. He'll be joined by Trixie, taking point on the position 1 Viper. That puts Matumba Man, the Finnish prodigy, going solo mid on the Storm Spirit. Come with me. There's consistent stand-in the place of Poss. We'll be on the Enigma, most likely headed to the jungle with some sentries already picked up, just in case they invade and try to put some trickery coming his way. They'll have Hani playing the off-lane Brewmaster.
And for the side of Cleave, the underdogs coming into this one, unfortunately sitting at last place, hoping to make a stand for themselves, currently smoked up. In the front, we got Metpum, or Meatpum?
Metpum.
Metpum. He's playing your Visage. Vaska is playing your Skywrath Mage. Stress on your Legion Commander. Zako on Nature's Prophet. And they currently cut out Boogie. Boogie going to quickly grab out that Bounty Room, but Bounty Room's not going to get you anywhere real quick. Throw up and down, and Boogie on out of there. Try to get away. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, this is going to be a first blood. Can they catch up with it? Oh, LC would love to have the first blood bonus. No, he can get it. Stress picks up that first blood, and poor Boogie unfortunately sacrificed his life to get that rune. And, well, who'd that leave? Very up on the other side of the map, we got Roger or Roger? Roger is playing your Drow Ranger.
So look at this, folks. There was a patch, and this is a new change. There was a little patch when I came down this morning, and they've got the team fight recap now as a broadcaster tool.
So, how quick before we get K-pop out of the house? Because, frankly, his job is now done.
Oh, that poor bastard. Worked so hard on that team fight recap. But it's still a cool feature, and excited to be able to utilize it here in the live environment. So, lane's looking pretty straightforward here. Dire side will settle down. They'll put Hakan in the offlane. That's how you pronounce this one, by the way. It's one of those.
What is it?
Hakan. I don't know why.
Hakan? Oh, I thought Zako sounded so good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not one of the phonetic ones. I've been told by a couple different folks that's the proper pronunciation. So we'll try our best. No one will hold it against you. That's a tricky one.
Hakan. I got
like the first time I tried to pronounce Koikva, that was a stumper as well. The LC will end up in the mid lane, and then they'll move into a safe lane Shreya to get a little bit of farm. Secured onto Roger, and he's in pretty good shape, but it looks like Hani got off a pretty good block, and Creep's already shoving into his tower, which will secure him a quick level 2, which is pretty nice for the Brewmaster.
Indeed so. Nature's Prophet, though, I mean, he's running into a bit of trouble here. This Viper is going to easily be able to zone him out. He might need to consider buckling back and maybe even, sacrificing this lane and going right into the jungle just so he can get some relative farm somewhere. I mean, right now he's kind of shoving Trixie back, but, as long as Rubik is going to be around, it's going to be troublesome. But Rubik has other plans. He's already shifting towards this bottom. It's time to control the runes, and that's one of the benefit of getting this additional rune. We know where it's coming here. Quick up throw back, and this allows Rubik to get the second bounty rune. Back-to-back bounty runes for the Rubik. And on the top, it's Vaxa, who guards out the regen.
Yeah, great news for the Rubik, finding a little bit of extra experience already. That's like half of level 1 just secured in bounty runes, so pretty good stuff for Boogie. And well, Hakan almost actually got stuck on the high ground there. That's what Boogie was going. Boogie. You got me saying Boogie. I think it's Boogie, but
Boogie.
Boogie. Double U's. The
Boogie.
It's an oogie. Yeah. It's channel your inner K-pop there.
All right.
And look at this. We've got a Dire Sentry Ward blocking the hard camp for Enigma, and I think that's the only camp he has blocked. So come with me. Off to a decent start here. He's already well into level 3, has Demonic Conversion at level 2, and actually goes for an early point in the Midnight Pulse rather than the Malefice. This ability, man, this is part of what makes Enigma so damn good.
Yep, and he wasn't really contested. I mean, normally, on the opponent's side, you'd want to smoke up, move on through, and really be able to block out these camps, but they didn't really do the best job, preventing Come With Me from getting a whole lot done in this jungle. So he's kind of having free reign right now, getting all the farm he wants already with that Soul Ring. Imagine he's going to boost forward into getting that mechanism, potential, blink thereafter, BKB, your standard cookie cutter kind of a lineup right now. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hani's been, dancing around between the top lane and the mid lane. He finally makes his return, and he's welcomed by that Skywrath Mage. It's a real piece of work this guy is. Just, Arcane Bolt for you. Get the hell out of here. Just constantly not allowing him to get near that farm.
Yep. Well, but he's almost found his level 4. So that rotation mid, when they pull the creep wave back, there's not really much that he can do anyhow. So looking for just a small opening in case the LC is in a poor position. And not a very likely chance for a kill, but it's better than just standing around in lane, I guess. His presence there helps zone out the LC and creates a little bit of space for Matumba Man. And in raw last hits, it's a pretty even spread in the mid, 15 and 6 on Matumba, 14 and 5 on the LC. Runes will come out. It's the Storm Spirit to bottle up the bounty, and Vaxa grabs the haster in a pretty scary one in the hands of the Skywrath Mage, but won't man up onto Hani and just heads right back to the top lane to continue making some space.
And I can't help but feel like still trouble here on the bottom lane for Nature's Prophet, only sporting a measly 3 and 2 CS, and he's going toe-to-toe with Trixie, who's the king of CS right now, 26 and 11. 11 denies, and you remember, in this patch, denies are just that much more important, and so he's really taking it to him right now.
Yeah, Khan feeling the hurt. He's almost level 4, has his boots, working on his power treads, and just doing what he can. He hasn't died yet, though, and that's really the...
I'm feeling troublesome right now for Hani. If they know he's in this side shop, they could pincer him in, but I don't think they'd know. He's flying through right now. Get the clap ready here, buddy, because you're going to have to run for the hills right now. Concussive shot, but no, he plays it smart, knows there's no proper disable, and just TP's out of there.
Nice heads-up play from the Brewmaster. Will make it home safe and sound, and Now in the bottom lane, Fnatic will start to move into the tier 1 tower. Enigma with some Eidolons. Has now gone for a 1-2-1 style of build, so a little bit of everything. Malphus at level 1 isn't really that potent, but can help set things up. They will hashtag just glyph it, as it will reset if this tower goes down. That'll buy them a little bit of time, but will Cleave actually try to mount a defense? It looks like Stress is on his way down. He's found his level 6, so could be looking for that first bout of extra damage with the duel.
Very nice stuff, and this is the first time I believe I've seen LC used in the mid lane, so it's been all over the place, and now he's looking to go in here. Come with me. Throws out the Malphus, the throwback, and now Stress is stressing out as he quickly gets taken down. Viper, of all people, gets the last hit, and Trixie loves it. And now they can even conveniently move on to taking a tower as well. This is a nice early boost for Fnatic, and they're desperately zoning him back. Don't want to get any sort of contention for the deny, and while they secure the tower, it's come with me to pick it up, so very strong start here for Fnatic.
Yeah, definitely. And LC just overestimating, I think, what he could get accomplished there without the support of his team. You see a nice change in favor of Fnatic, and it even tells you the damage done. Look at that. Oh, boy, this recap is crazy. But, yeah, good stuff. Tower, last hit goes to Come With Me, I think you mentioned. So, nice spread of gold around. If he wants the mech, he'll be very close to it. In the top lane, we'll see a rotation as Roger. He gets clapped by Hani. There's your zip-zap forward from Matumba Man. Roger with a gust will connect on 2, but Matumba Man, he wants it. He has the vortex, but the duel from Stress will keep him alive, and this will be his first bout of bonus damage. Oh, not quite. The duel expires
That was a cock block if I ever saw one. I mean, to be frank right there, that duel was like, hey. Look at me. Look at me. And he immediately takes him down. So, hey, nice early duel, but he actually didn't get the bonus damage. I guess the duel did expire just before.
Just half a second too early.
That's a bummer.
So it's a little bit unfortunate, but the real moral of that story is he keeps Roger alive. Gives him that space to scoot back, get the bonus damage from marksmanship, rather. And, well, Cleave right there with the response. Fnatic still with a nice lead, though, in gold and experience, partially from that tower, but also Ol Enigma, Come With Me, just making things more efficient with his time in the jungle. Vox in mid will get jumped on by Matumba Man. It's going to be a slam dunk as he secures the solo
He's got no
kill,
mana, though. He gets sprouted up. He's got nowhere to go right now. He has nothing to eat that tree, and these little gremlin things are going to go ahead and bring him down, but it's Visage to get off the kill. So Matumba Man, very sour off what happened in the top lane, gets his revenge, feels a little better getting the Skywrath Mage, but once again, Cleave, they're on top of their game as far as rotating around the map and aiding their allies.
Yeah, it seems like every step Fnatic takes forward, Cleave is right there with a response, but the issue is they're just simply getting out-farmed. The mid lane is still in favor of the Storm Spirit in terms of raw CS. Trixie's still just racking up the last hits down here. He'll actually be the Met carrier, has the Buckler and Headdress already. He'll just dive onto Hakan, connects with the Viper Strike, laying in the poison attacks, and this should be a dead Nature's Prophet. And he'll give him the crabs, as they say, and then he'll just TP back home to safety.
Just after I jinxed Cleave on their movement rotation, I guess they might have been out of TPs or unable to rotate that time to help out their ally in need. And, well, Khan, that's going to have to fall for that one. And, well, on the other side of things, we got Hani up here in the top lane. Attention's been diverted from him, but he's not quite as level 6 yet. Would love to get a hold of that Primal Split, and it looks like he is going to blitz forward into getting a Blink Dagger.
Yep. And I think that makes a lot of sense here. As, mid lane, we'll see the team of Fnatic start to group up and pressure the tower. Midnight Pulse coming down, and just look at that big old radius. Glyph has come on back, and they will use it to buy themselves some time. Stress with a double damage rune. Looking for the proper initiation. Matumba Man takes a silence from Voxa, standing on the high ground. That's one way to lock down the Storm Spirit. They'll find the kill there. Rubik goes down to the Legion Commander, just overwhelming the odds. And now Trixie, he'll get dueled, and this will be your first bout of extra damage. We got a winner, and it's a 3-0 as Cleave make a great hold in this mid lane.
Is Arcana letting us know that he has won that duel 424 times. Ooh. Now Stress has played a little bit LC, I see.
Yeah. Duel's lost 15. I like that it counts the negative aspect there, too. Just when you duel and it doesn't work out in your favor. That's good stuff.
So does that mean he's 423-15 with duel? I don't know.
Well, I think a duel... Well, what do they consider a loss? I think a loss is if he dies while dueling and gives damage to the other person.
So that goes to show that he knows when it's the right time to duel.
Yeah, so even if you don't get the kill with the duel, I don't think that counts as a loss. I think that's like a draw in air quotes. It's when the other team actually gets the damage when you roll the dice there.
Sure enough. Rubik spouts out a Drow, quickly throws him up and towards himself to get closer to Hani, but Hani's not about that life just yet. No, the silence flies on Rubik, gets sprouted up, Hani jumps in. He gets silenced, he's not going to get Primal Split off, and he gets blown the hell up as all of Cleave clearly just come out from the darkness and show him, hey, and take him down. Oh, man, Cleave, man. looking pretty good. 7-3 for them thus far.
Yeah, they've leveled out this golden experience graph, and they've got this snowball rolling. Now Rogers picked up the leading spot in the last hits, and all that experience and gold advantage that Fnatic had is starting to dwindle. They'll grab another tier 1 tower kill, so that gives them a nice little gold boost here, but Cleave will be right there with a response. They'll start chipping away at this tier 1 in the top lane. Viper down bottom will start moving into that tier 2, but mid lane, Familiar's flying over the tree line. Stress is there. He'll overwhelm the odds once more. Come with me, taking a lot of damage from these Familiars, and we'll be forced back just like that.
Dire's
He
bottom
didn't
tower
have the
is
blink
under
available
attack.
at that point to just jump into the lane, and I'm sure he would have considered going for the strong duel. But for now, just looking to constantly roam about, and this is what it's all about. I mean, 20 bonus damage for now, and I'm imagining he wants to make great use of this Blink Dagger and build up that bonus damage as quick as possible. And for Fnatic, maybe they're not too comfortable going against this hero. You know, I was hoping that way they would go for something to counter it back a little bit further. They do have some options, you know, later on the road. If he does get caught out in a duel, that sets up for a pretty nice black hole attempt from Come With Me. So, and of course you got the lift there from Rubik, a Vortex. So we'll have to see. I would imagine that Legion Commander should consider going a BKB at some point. And, well, Rubik gets his first steal of the game, and he's going to grab that overwhelming odds.
Glyph comes out on the top tier 1 tower as Cleave just get in the right position to make the defense here. Some creeps will shove through the tower and make this push a little easier for Fnatic. The tower has already been glyphed, so they will have to mount this defense pretty soon. They've got the Familiars flying over the tree line here. Wrath of Nature flying through. That'll soften them up a little bit. Tenderize the meat, if you will. And Cleave, well, just kind of poking, using those overwhelming odds to much avail. Blink Dagger.
Just kind of flirting right now.
Yeah.
Flirting a bit, but the important thing to know, you know, is
pushing. Down bottom, Roger finds a tower, so they make it a 1-for-1.
They need that, because I was getting a bit worried that they're not really getting any objectives complete here. Fnatic, a team that, you know, with their draft, their late game could be a bit questionable in comparison to this Drow, to this what this Legion Commander could be. They need to make sure they keep taking these towers, they keep adding the pressure, and not let this game go on too long. And well, they continue to add pressure here in the top lane and see if they can catch anyone out. They place a very nice aggressive ward right now.
Yeah. There you go. So Fnatic will continue the pushing, and this is a bit of a risky strategy. They have a team fight advantage right now with the Primal Split and Black Hole at the ready. Also, Trixie has completed the mech, so they are team fight ready, but as we've talked about many a time, in 6.82, towers are worth a lot less gold. So this general style of play, when you're all grouped up and not farming efficiently, is very costly if you take a bad team fight or can't get the objectives fast enough. And this whole time, Roger's just free farming in the bottom lane. He now has a Yasha to go with his Morbid Mask, so he's going to be happy to push into this tower and force Fnatic to get executive here. And how much space do they really want to give this Drow Ranger to free farm? As she is still #1 on the net worth.
Yeah, she's going to continue to bring in the farm that all she'd like, looking to build forward towards that Mask of Madness. Maybe might consider a Blink Dagger in the near future just for proper positioning and avoiding any sort of incoming danger. So does pull back for now, sees Hani makes the rotation over, and Fnatic have been hanging around in this top lane for quite a while now. They're going to kind of take what farm they can and just make their, you know, smooth little exit here on the way out.
Yeah, and they may want to just slow down the momentum a bit and wait for Hani to grab that Blink Dagger. He's at the 2,000 gold mark, so not so far away, and that is a potentially game-changer, game-changing item, rather, when you're talking about these team fights. Gives them a lot more initiation power. Double damage rune will get scooped up by Stress down bottom, so this is always scary. LC with a blink and a double damage at the ready. Hani does have a primal split, but the duel will trap him in place. Voxa's there. Silence at the ready. Hani can no longer split. Stress goes in. There's the duel. They'll have more than enough burst damage. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. 426 victories going the way of Stress.
It's almost as if you were saving that saying just for an LC, you know, but hey, he's making it work right now, I suppose.
It's been a long time coming since I could pull that one out in a competitive cast.
All right, so 30 bonus damage now for Stress. Very nice stuff. More than I've seen pretty much out of any LC thus far. So
yeah, me too.
Definitely the most impressive LC performance, at least I firsthand had the opportunity to cast. So they're really making it work for him right now. And, you know, for Hani on this Brewmaster, just really showing why it's such a hard time being that Panda Bear going against the Skywrath Mage and so much silence. You're not even really getting the opportunity to get that primal split off, and this could, you know, begin to dwell in his mind that maybe he should consider popping off the R button a little bit sooner.
Yeah, it's a tricky game for a Brewmaster with the LC, who essentially has a silence in the duel. I guess it is technically a silence, but no way to get the primal split out of that, and we've seen Voxa a few times now with key Ancient Seals to set it up. How is the Storm Spirit doing? Matumba Man, he's slowing down. He has that first Oblivion Staff. Anything on the Courier with his name on it? Nope, that's a point booster for Trixie that'll be coming out. But Matumba Man just not finding that momentum he was hoping for with this Storm Spirit. 1-3-0. I mentioned that 15 to 20 minute window for the Orchid, and I think he'll be lucky to have a 20-minute Orchid at this rate.
Yeah, and I think at this point in the game, if Cleave wanted to, they can get proper ward coverage on the bottom.
Matumba Man, speak of the devil, they have the damage to have a winner, and well, it'll be a kill. No bonus damage that time, but still, a kill is a kill, and that'll slow down Storm Spirit from that Orchid that much more. Or, well, he bought his robe.
They get this nice pick off, and they might need to consider maybe going for an early Roche at this point. They have the additional damage. You got your Visage. He's got his standard medallion to use. Of course, Drow already bringing in some fair amount of damage here. She is going to look to build towards a BKB, you know, with the Mythril Hammer already completed. I like this route, a little more survivability, and obviously being able to avoid anything coming their way, potentially from, you know, the Rubik and, of course, that Enigma, even though Black Hole will go through it. You know, it's just that little bit of extra step before you decide to build into the hardcore damage.
Yeah, I like this item build from Come With Me. He's going to go right into the Crimson Guard. Vanguard's already picked up, as is the Buckler, so just a recipe away. And this is going to mitigate a lot of damage. LC, Dro, the Visage, and the Nature's Prophet, all with a lot of right-click, especially with all those summons, the Nature's Call, and the Familiars. So this will really absorb a lot of damage in these team fights. And it's not charge-based. That's 9 seconds where physical damage is just not nearly as potent. And that is potentially a game changer for Fnatic in the context of these skirmishes.
We'll have to see. Really trying to utilize that new item. You know, very useful, not just fashionable. They're going to try to nerf down a bit of that damage, which now they're hiding out here in the bottom lane, seeing if they can get a pick off here, just kind of waiting it out a bit. But Fnatic's not having anything about this bottom lane. They're still continuing to farm, but they get some nice couple of pickoffs right there on the Visage Bird, so some free 100 gold coming their way.
Yeah, a little bit of income there. The Viper will still be moving towards his Aghanim Scepter. I think I mentioned the point booster, and no other item progression on that front except the Ogre Club sitting on the Courier. And I do like this build from Roger, as you were mentioning, just to grab the value Yasha. It's such a great farming tool. If you get it early enough, it more than pays for itself just in your extra bit of damage, and also that movement speed lets you farm so much more efficiently. And also just the value Morbid Mass, so he has a little bit of sustainability. This is good stuff coming out of Roger. Now Cleave will be looking for the right angle to initiate here. And Stress goes right in on to Come With Me, but will get telekinesis right away. Hani comes in, gets off the Primal Split. This time Roger taking a lot of damage, will get stunned up by the boulder. Down he goes, Voxa falls simultaneously as he tries to TP home. The others will be able to mount and escape as Stress blinks back to safety, and Fnatic will take a 2-for-0 trade.
I hate to call it Cleave, but that was a bad call to make, as you know, LC jumping in there thinking he can go toe-to-toe with Enigma, you know, to try to remove him from that battle and not have any sort of potential black hole, but you're still leaving Rubik right there open to get the quick lift-off, and he immediately pulled it out, almost expecting it to come their way, and that's something you don't want to do maybe until you do get that BKB complete, and he already has the Mythril Hammer, so it's definitely a value pickup for this LC, but Fnatic capitalize on that. They take down the Drow, and they add a little pressure here on the bottom lane.
Yep, and now the Crimson Guard is up, so Enigma is ready to teamfight. Crimson Guard and Mech, some great value items there, and when you're grouped up as 5-man ball, Nature's Prophet will find his first big item. 3 Null Tallies, no Blade Mail, just straight into the Maelstrom. So this is kind of a different take on the Null Tally Prophet that we've seen. Usually with the triple Null Tally, that has meant a Blade Mail, at least towards the end of the last patch.
I mean, to be frank, and I'm not a big Nature's Prophet player, I never really understood the constant Null Tallies. I know in pubs they'd like to convert one of them into a Dagon and be a real pain in the ass like that, but I guess I get it. The same way like I've seen some unique builds where they max power treads or something like that. I mean, do you have any sort of input about that?
The thing about Blade Mails, it's a great value item in terms of stats, because there's no recipe, so you just get a lot out of those 3 core items in terms of right-click, the extra bit of mana that Nature's Prophet needs, and all that extra armor. And with the Null Tallies, it just gives him a huge raw HP pool. I mean, look at him right now. Of course, he has Dro Aura, but he right-clicks pretty damn hard for this stage in the game. You don't normally think of Nature's Prophet as a right-clicker that'll get right up in your face, but if he rushes the Blade Mail, he can kind of do that and be a bit of a bully. So it's just to give you a little bit of edge and make you more of a team fighter rather than that kind of old school, like, let me just rush the Midas, sit in the jungle, and be the passive little pansy. Instead, it turns you into a bulldog.
Yeah. You know? Oh, I like it. So, you know, and I would imagine maybe he considers going for that Blink Dagger, you know, speaking of Bulldog kind of a style. And look at this. They're getting pretty aggressive. Look into the jungle. They spot out Stress right here, who's getting orbed a bit, but he does manage to walk away just a little out of reach if they wanted to make an overcommitment. They don't quite have proper vision on the rest of the Cleave squad. And without the benefit of having their Enigma nearby to pull out that big black hole, they're going to have to second guess before they go for any sort of team fight here. And same kind of goes for Cleave. We saw Morty kind of risk it once in the bottom lane, and they got fortunately stubbed their toe trying to make something happen. So just a bit of timid play overall from both teams, it looks like, for now.
Yeah, Cleave still with a lot of Tier 1 towers to knock down. They are a little bit tricky given the glyph changes, and Fnatic, they want some towers, and they will move in here. Crimson Guard used to start things off, and it's only a 9-second buff, so Cleave can kind of just wait this out. Come with me. No Blink Dagger, no BKB, so getting a good black hole off will be tricky. Cleave still positioning themselves very well, and they're just commencing the split push while this is going on. Hakan will be in the top lane, Roger down bottom, and they're just soaking up some free farm and finding more efficiency. And they have some TP scrolls at the ready in case they need to take the fight. Dro does have the BKB, but she will be prepared.
I mean, the Cleave have good positioning, but they're not doing anything. They're just sitting there watching their tower fall. I mean, Stress knows he can't jump in there because someone else is just going to prevent him from getting a duel off, and that's probably the problem. And he's just one component away from that BKB, and then he can feel a little bit more manly about jumping in there and making something happen. But for now, they're just kind of rendered useless watching this mid lane push forward. And really, what can you do? If you go on one person, you might get a black hole in your mouth. If you go the other way, you got a telekinesis coming your way. You got Storm Spirit constantly lurking in the dark, looking to bounce in there and make something happen. And it's going to keep them guessing, and maybe they should just go off to the sides and add pressure elsewhere. We need more split push happening from this Nature's Prophet. The Drow was doing it a bit earlier. You got to get the farm happening here on the sides. They got tremendous amounts of rat that could be coming their way. I think they need to start consider exercising that.
Now, if Fnatic had gotten that tower, I'd completely agree with you, but since they didn't, it's sort of more Cleave just found better farm. They had two heroes free farming on the side lanes while Fnatic's all clumped up, sharing experience and sharing all those last hits. But once they get this tower, then all those fears are realized, and Cleave have a bit more of a problem. Metpum will get initiated on, but feels the benefits of pressing the attack. Hani comes in, Thunderclap, there's the split, Boulder will hit the Visage in the face, and it's a dead bird to get things started. Now Fnatic getting what they came for, and will be able to move into this tower pretty easily, as there is no glyph to keep it safe.
Poor Skywrath Mage can't really offer a whole lot. He can't get close enough to really get the Ancient Seal off, just a simple concussive shot, and has to watch his support ally fall. And they get the tower, they step back, and they're reaping the benefits of that gold. You see a hood picked up from the Enigma, and the Agnum Scepter now acquired by Trixie.
Yeah, so it looks like Enigma just going for all aura buffs here. Stuff to help out the pushing. I'm sure that'll turn into a pipe, but Trixie, he'll hang around a bit too long. Yeah, he'll get completely isolated here. He uses his mech, but there's the duel. That's free damage for our winner here. And now up to 44 plus damage on Stress. It's starting to add up here, Coddle Guy.
Indeed it is, and they get that little bit of extra gold there, as the net worth was only a slight hair towards Fnatic's team, but they do get to disperse that little bit of extra gold amongst everyone, and well, now LC gets that bit of extra damage. So close now, 200 away from getting that BKB. That's going to be a crucial point here for Cleave, and with Trixie down, look at this, they're going to move themselves right into the Roche Pit. They definitely have all the ammunition they could ever want. They got the Familiars, they got the Treants. Hani's like, don't you think about doing it, but then he gets taken down. Oh, once again, silenced out,
he had a haste
way to
rune
do
on,
anything.
And that's the kind of bane to the haste rune existence. A lot of pro players look at it, max movement speed, I'm invulnerable, and he just charges in, hoping to kind of tease it out a bit, and underestimating the burst damage that Cleave can put onto him. So that's a 2-0. Now a Roche, as you mentioned. Roger will be the one to grab the Aegis. Oh no, it goes to Stress, pardon me. LC will be the one carrying that Aegis of the Immortal. His BKB is coming out on the Courier as we speak, and now Cleave will just press forward and look to grab another tower. Glyph will fly through, but a huge swing of momentum going the way of Cleave, and Fnatic not really in trouble per se, but they are not in the clear by any means.
No, certainly not. And now it's on Fnatic that once they see the pushes and pressure coming their way from Cleave, now that they're going to feel a little more comfortable with the items they have, maybe trying to land up that big black hole and looking to capitalize on that with your Storm trying to rip apart others, and of course Hani, if he can get off a good primal split, jumping in and dealing some big damage. But aside from that, I would have liked to see a lot more AoE from Fnatic's team, considering they're going with this black hole oriented team fight kind of a build, maybe something to really add a lot to the whole team fight. But we'll see how it ends up working out for him, because I think Cleave are going to start getting a little more comfortable from this point on.
Yeah, definitely. The BKB on the LC, I think, makes a big difference. Now Stress can be a lot more aggressive, especially with the Aegis of the Immortal. This is a big window of opportunity for Cleave, and they will seize the day. They smoke up straight away outside of the Roche Pit. They move into the jungle, and looks like they may find a Trixie. Stress goes right in, and oh, look at this combo. Mystic Flare makes it an easy kill. Another winner, and that'll push him up to a nice level of extra damage. Boogie Almost gets interrupted as he tries to TP out. We'll just cancel the TP himself. Seeing the Familiars flying overhead. Metpum just barely TPs out in time. Familiars will connect with some stuns, though. They may get picked off as they sound the retreat and give Fnatic a little bit of extra gold. Can they make it over the tree line? Man, these Familiars are tanky, and it looks like they'll both survive. Well, okay, make that one of them survives.
So while all attention, though, is happening there on the bottom lane, way up on the opposite side of this map, you got your Roger farming away. His Mantis complete, already pushing about 700 gold available, and you know, this Drow is slowly going to build up into a big, big problem if Fnatic cannot jump on and really take something to it. But now with you know, the BKB, it's going to be that much harder.
Kind of a problem. BKB and Manta, two great abilities, two great reset tools. But Matumba Man in the mid, he'll get jumped on by Stress, and that's a solo kill. This is when LC gets really scary. When you snowball to that point of pretty basic item set, but 72 extra damage, that's a lot of items worth of just raw damage right there. And now he can find solo kills. This is scary.
This is the most successful LC I've seen this patch thus far in tournament play. I mean, without a doubt, and to come from a team like Cleave, that's pretty impressive.
The underdogs, it's good stuff.
This might be 6.83. It's Cleave's patch, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, they're making it work for now.
Yeah. So on the note of Matumba Man, he ended up grabbing the Orchid right around the 22-minute mark, and that's just outside of that window when the Orchid is really effective. You grab that item because the earlier you get it, the more solo kill potential it gives you, and then you can use those solo kills to really snowball out of control. And Storm, one of those classic snowball heroes, overuse that word, can kind of hit that critical mass, as Gons and I saw the other day, a 30-plus Bloodstone charge.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Storm Spirit, when that's what happens when he just gets out of control, and this is the very opposite of that. And now we see him with almost no momentum. Matumba Man 1-5-0. That's just not where Storm Spirit wants to be. A very aggressive hero, wants to find a lot of kills, and this is just not the kind of game he's looking for.
It's hard though. I mean, you can't really just go for those isolation plays.
Dual mid, Boogie will be there to interrupt it. Stress does have a haste rune on, and now the stolen duel Boogie, but he'll lose it. Oh my gosh, Rubik! He pops the duel and gives some damage back to the LC. That'll proc the Aegis. Now the first black hole of the game comes out, and they end the streak on Legion Commander. So Matumba Man does get a nice little pick-me-up there. But, oh, the irony, Rubik, you silly, silly swine.
I mean, the thing is obviously, you know, with about a minute left of Aegis before it expires, he wanted to make use of it. So he jumps in. He's like, it's okay, I got Aegis. Even if I get caught out, I'll be able to come back. I don't need to use my BKB. Well, ends up paying for it. He gets quickly bursted down even thereafter. Can't even get the BKB off or anything, and ends up going down and hands over a pretty nice bounty. But while that's happening, Cleave clean up a tower here on the top lane, taking advantage of that aura, taking advantage of those birds, being able to deal out the heavy damage, and well, they inherit another sweet tower. And well, look at the graph. Wow, that thing falls real quick. Yeah, that's like a scary takedown at a roller coaster.
Oh yeah, Cleave are really picking up a lot of momentum here. Visage gets his Aghanim Scepter, a great first item when you have a Drow on your team. That's another bird flying around, which means you benefit from that aura even more. Great stuff coming out from the Visage. Blink Dagger now on the Drow Ranger, and these Familiars, they're gonna have a rough time. They'll drop some stuns onto Matumba Man. No follow-up will be there, and they'll just fly over this tree line to try and survive. Getting that flying vision with the Remnants. This is a potential 300 gold bounty. They want it, and for good reason, but all three birds still alive, and, well, serving as an appropriate distraction. Looks like, yep, all three will still survive as they fly through the rocks here. Yeah, they are undead after all, so stands to reason they've got mythical powers. But Hakan with a Scythe of Vice on the Prophet. That's probably the biggest item we've seen picked up.
They do a smoke, but Matumba Man was awfully close to the creep wave. Cleave might have even seen it happening, but I don't think, I'm judging by the way they're still standing there, I don't think they did. So Fnatic quickly retreat from that top lane. They're looking to maybe go a little aggressive, considering crossing the river, seeing if they can catch anyone out. Maybe this mid lane LC looks like a good target to go for, and they're already rushing towards that direction. If they can get a hold of her before the BKB comes off, they might be able to burst her down, but no, LC pulls back and is going to go elsewhere.
Yep. Will be safe. Meanwhile, on the bottom, that's kind of where they'll turn their sights to. Enigma has picked up a gem as well as the completed Pipe of Insight. So now those two big use items that buff up your friends nearby. The pipe will hit creeps. Crimson Guard's hero only, but still good stuff for pushing. Good team fight there as well. Cleave just kind of spreading around the map and happy to keep farming. Fnatic will kind of plateau the gold gain for now. But
it is interesting, though, Enigma going for all I mean, yeah, that's great. You know, he's going to be like a true morale booster, I guess, for his team, being able to contribute so much with the pipe and that Crimson Guard. But he needs to consider a BKB. Because right now, if he gets a Black Hole off and he doesn't catch everyone, you got your Ancient Seal nearby. The Familiars can, stun him out. And, and Gust is a long-range kind of ability. So
no, Hex. There's a lot of abilities to interrupt him here.
So he needs to get the BKB if he wants to be able to get off a nice, big, girthy Black Hole.
Yeah, definitely so. Hani, down bottom, will defend the Tier 3 tower, which took a lot of damage. That's mostly just familiar birds, and I saw it getting chipped down, but she's almost dead.
That's crazy.
That's a big deal. So, and look at this. This is just kind of Rat Dota Visage style. Birds just flying over the tree line and constantly coming in to chip at it. There's no glyph available. So stands to reason this tower will go down. Will it get denied is a totally different question, but even just losing a Tier 3 tower 30 minutes in is a pretty big deal.
It's 3 birds, each with plus 98 damage, as it is right now. I mean, just look at them. They're going to fly over. Just a real pain in the ass right here.
He's doing what he can, but what can you do? Even if you kill one of the birds.
I got your tower full.
That's a dead tower. No deny even comes out, and it's just so damn easy. Now top lane of Rax exposed, and they're ratting, but not even with the true rat. Matumba Man, haste rune on. He'll go right onto Roger. Electric Vortex in his face. There's the Orchid, but BKB's used. Roger will just TP home. Hani coming in, but no way to interrupt it. And he will live.
That's heartbreaking. I mean, this is slowly looking like that the window of opportunity that Fnatic had has just slowly been shut right before them. And for Cleave, it's just being gusted right open.
Yeah, absolutely. Other item progression here, Dro having to use a 10-second BKB, or 9-second BKB charge, rather, for just to survive like that. A little unfortunate, but now Trixie, Metpom serving as effective bait. Hakan just uses that global presence, comes on in, connects with the Sprout, and the quote-unquote tanky Viper just taking a tumble. Really not much he could do there.
No, certainly not, and that wasn't even involving much of the team from Cleave. Just these two knuckleheads were able to take him down alone, and that is supposed to be your more tanky Viper on your team, and it's just rough. I mean, really at this point in the game for Fnatic, what can you do at this point?
Yeah, even Stress coming in and taking a couple of their Ancients, not too much, but a penny earned, or penny saved is a penny earned, as they say. I think Fnatic just need to abuse their team fight. They need to either smoke up. They need to find some way to use this Black Hole and all of their team fight-oriented items. They are very close to a round of BKBs. Storm very close to finishing up the recipe. Hani in a similar boat, so they may want to wait until that's the case. Viper has his Ogre Club, but I don't think any other progression towards it. So even if they wait for those next 2 BKBs, group up, and then try to take a team fight, that's going to be their golden ticket. And Enigma's at 3,600 gold right now, so that's not too far off a BKB of its own. And I think those are the steps in the right direction. After that, you just got to make these team fights happen. You've got your Black Hole, you've got your pipe. Let's see some kills.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, Fnatic. They get a hold of those BKBs. They try to go for that big, crucial moment of a team fight, and if it falls apart, I wouldn't be surprised if they consider getting a hold of that Tau. You know, so it's going to be rough. Oh, long jump coming in from Matumba Man. He sees one of the best targets possible right now, and that's a Skywrath Mage, but it's not taken. And it's not happening. So he sees LC, and he's like, I got to get out of here. And during that time, it looks like it is Nature's Prophet able to get a swift pickoff on that Enigma, who is getting so close to BKB. It's unfortunately going to take just a little bit longer.
Yeah, it looks like a similar situation of Metpum baiting all by his lonesome, and the Nature's Prophet coming on in to play clean house. Now in the mid lane, Roger will walk right into Boogie as well as Hani, but Boogie gets caught by the duel. Stress will bring him down, and that'll be another winner. The Primal Split comes out, but Roger just stands his ground, lays into Matumba Man with a silence, brings him down, and he's just too damn tanky for these right clicks from the Primals to really make a difference. And now across all these exchanges, Cleave coming out way ahead. Will he be able to bring down Hani? Looks like he'll make it back for now, but Hakan is there, has a Sprout. He'll get turned into a Piggy. There's the Mystic Flare, and it's a 4-0 across the map. And now this Tier 2 mid is certain to fall. Glyph is available, but Fnatic are in shambles. Soon to be upset by Cleave if this keeps up.
Some people out there are ready to make a few amount of rares, I would imagine, if they put them out on the line, because Leave's looking awfully good with this kind of a lineup and for Fnatic, and we're getting to that point in the game where it's just going to be too hot to handle right now. As you know, Stress now bearing 104 bonus damage on his Legion Commander. You know, bulldozing forward to getting a Daedalus, I would imagine, that extra bit of damage. Nature's Prophet, he's got his Sheep Stick, you know, anything he could ask for. That Drow's also farmed out of her mind, right? It's just, this is going to be too much. I don't know how they're going to be able to stop everything, and if Cleave starts split pushing the lanes, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to play it safe for now. Roche is back up, and Drow's getting something started.
So 20-7, looking at the graph, yeah, about 12,000 gold, 14,000 experience. We are almost at that insurmountable mark as Cleave go right into the Roche pit. Khan has 6,000 gold on this profit. Fnatic will try to contest this, but their Enigma's not here. He has a TP, but can only TP to the bottom tier 2, and without a black hole, I don't think they stand any chance of contesting this. Now Fnatic, they just don't seem to be on the same page. Their Enigma's nowhere to be found as Boogie. He gets initiated on. Matumba Man comes around the backside, has his BKB on, but there's the duel. It cuts right through that Magic immunity. We've got another winner as Roger. BKB on will stand his ground, forced to back out, but here's your black hole coming through. Hani with the right clicks on Stress, but it just tickles. He brings out the Feather Duster. It's not enough to secure the kill, and it'll be a full 5-man wipe with all 5 of Cleave still standing.
Yuck. That was unfortunate. That looked like potentially one of the better opportunities there for Fnatic, but even that was rough. And you know, I was questioning what could they even do, even if they did get a hold of 3, 4, even 5 people in a black hole. Like, how much damage honestly are they going to have to follow it up with? And we saw it's Hani with his Nerf bat trying to just hit LC, and it's just not going to clearly be enough. And this is an easy set of racks. They can easily shift over and do serious damage to the bottom as well. And this is going to be over. And for Fnatic, they're going to have to shake this one off when they go into their next match.
Yeah, this is GG territory. I don't know what Fnatic can do at this point. And you know, we've talked so much, not just us. Everyone's been talking a lot about the new streak changes and how much gold Fnatic could get off this team fight. But their basic problems still stand. Even with some big item pickups, they're just lacking damage across the board. And now Stress has an MKB. Wow, does he hit hard. Almost 400 a pop, 350, something like that. And it's just continuing to get worse here. Nature's Prophet with 2,000 gold now. He'll just pick up a straight Daedalus. I won't even go for the Mjolnir, just going raw right click. And one lane of racks standing between Fnatic and certain defeat.
And it was an MKB picked up from the Legion Commander, which is a smart choice because, you know, Brew on the other team has that evasion. Well, now that's not going to matter anymore. And if things weren't hard enough, I mean, there she is with that. So, you know, Force Staff also going to be picked up for the Skywrath Mage, you know, probably the brokest one of his group, but still able to contribute a whole lot. And even in that early game, dishing out the silence and really making things difficult for that Brewmaster just really pays dividends at this point in the game. So now they smoke up. They're looking to shift on over. And, you know, this looks like Fnatic's all or nothing kind of a play as they commit a lot down this mid lane. And well, they'll just kind of throw it against the wall and hope it sticks at this point.
Yeah, the all-in, GG, let's do this thing. They don't have a black hole for another 55 seconds, so this is another problem. And a future team fight here is I feel like Fnatic absolutely need the black hole to make something happen.
They see pressure bottom, and they're like, we can't lose. If we lose this, we have Megas. we can't even commit to this mid lane. And their top lane's getting pushed in. They're getting spread thin as it stands right now. And well, it's going to be that moment. Yeah, they're aware. We can't even go for an all or nothing down the mid lane without just getting into Megas. And there's your final duel. And well, big props to Cleave, taking advantage of this Legion Commander and Drow Visage setup and really taking it to Fnatic, who were really banking on some sort of early mid-game snowball factor. It just never really happened. The ball of snow just ended up melting.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the biggest issues for Fnatic was the Storm Spirit. Matumba Man just couldn't really get enough done, and this is one of the reasons I think we've seen Storm fall out of favor recently. He hasn't been picked up so much because he is just so momentum reliant. He doesn't have a great ability to farm, and if you can't get that fast Orchid, can't get that fast core item and pick up kills, then he takes a nosedive. I mean, that game he ended 2-7-0. He was only involved in 2 kills in 37 minutes.
Yeah, it's rough. Hani had a hard time from start to finish. Matumba Man had a hard time from start to finish, and really, there was just nowhere to go from there if those are going to be supposed to be your 2 big boys.
Yeah.
So, rough stuff. Cleave, though, very impressive for a team that's on the bottom. You know, looking pretty good.
16 in the 16-team group stage. They're dead last, so showing us that they still have the skills to pay the bills, and they are worthy of their seat here in the Star Series of Starladder. We'll have one more game coming up today, Fnatic versus Album Sheet. They've already been upset once, and now they're getting into do or die mode. Fnatic still have a lot of games to go, and they need these wins for a chance at the top 4.
Especially if you want to move on to some sort of tiebreaker situation. They're going to need the W.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be back, guys. Thank you for joining us. A short break, and then Fnatic Album Sheet coming up next.